I can see why people debate this. Both blonde men, both have a weak base form, super strong amp state, big heroes of their respective series, both on the verge of death due to an overuse of their powers. I can 100% see why people would compare All Might and Escanor. In a versus battle, though, it really falls to Escanor, no question. Like, don't worry, I'm gonna do a fight where the Sins lose. I'm just clearing up common matchups I've heard with the Sins that are honestly mismatches or just wrong. So right now, let me just get to the current fight. Let me say this one thing all the way for the people in the back so y'all can hear it. Escanor washes All Might. Seriously, main series All Might. At best, I've seen some calcs with him as large mountain level, and you can scale him to like over 7,000 times the speed of sound. All right, looking pretty good. Even in Taizai, that's like rather good scaling. That's like good beginning of series scaling, like late BOS, like just when the Ten Commandments are getting introduced. But yeah, here's the thing. While all that is impressive, let me just remind you that the weakest version of Escanor we've seen is casually stronger than someone who is twice as strong as beginning of series Meliodas in both magic and pure strength, numbers wise. Also, the earliest Escanor we've seen was casually able to lift Rita, which a Meliodas of 10 years past, which means this is a post Druid Meliodas, the same post Druid Meliodas that was able to annihilate Galen. The weakest Escanor we've seen was casually able to lift Rita, while that Meliodas had to drag it along the ground. So this early Escanor is way stronger than whatever beginning of series characters we'd have. But you know what? That Escanor is unquantifiably stronger than the Vampire King and post Druid Meliodas because we know lifting strength does not directly equal striking strength. They're two different things, and we just know it's morning by the time Escanor pops up in Vampires of Edinburgh. So let's not overwank the Vampires of Edinburgh Escanor. We're just going to leave it at that. However, what we can scale Escanor from is his first modern appearance in Seven Deadly Sins. And there, he scales well above a critical overgallon, who scales well above a mountain level lightning speed Meliodas. Just using the numbers that we were given, I'm not saying these are concrete numbers, I'm sure Nakawa Sensei didn't just completely say, yep, these are the exact power levels I want to use. But even so, Escanor is over 25 times stronger than the beginning of series Meliodas, and he scales ludicrously above a base gallon and a critical over gallon in terms of raw power. And remember this, beginning of series Meliodas is a mountain level threat with greater than lightning speed reactions and combat speed. And then also remember, a past gallon was casually able to blitz and slice in half a country level Tarmiel. And then the exact same thing, getting sliced in half on sight, was done to base gallon in a current by Escanor. So do what you will with that. Am I saying Gallon and by proxy Escanor country level? No, small country at best, more likely island, a large island level. But still, that makes Escanor a character that casually dominated a critical over Gallon so badly that Gallon didn't even want to fight Escanor. He literally triggered his own commandment. Easily large island level. Like casually. Escanor, there's no doubt in my mind that Escanor is at a bare minimum large island level. So like the main series buff All Might that we see that like comes into that we would be using in this fight comes nowhere near Escanor in terms of power, in terms of speed, in terms of durability. As you're gonna see, there's not much All Might can do technique wise either. Like the only projectiles he has are some air-based attacks with some punches. And while they can do some significant damage to people in the My Hero Academia verse, you gotta remember, Gallon did things like slicing off entire mountaintops through sheer air pressure when he wasn't even swinging for them. He was swinging for Escanor, and all that did to Escanor was slightly prick his shoulder. It literally did practically 0.0001% of damage to Escanor. And that's all Might has in terms of projectiles. So Escanor would literally just stand there and just let that blow his hair back, maybe get some nice breeze in his hair, but that's all that All Might's projectiles are gonna do. And then in direct contrast to All Might, who has like these basic punches and kicks and chops, like a basic hand-to-hand fighting style, Escanor actually has some variety, like with his weapon and with his projectiles. Escanor has Cruel Sun, a gigantic projectile he can control on his own, he can ride on, and he can enhance it to the point where it's twice the size of Estarossa. He can also just make it erupt into a gigantic tower of flame with Pride Flare, causing a massive explosion that vaporizes all liquid in the area. It instantly vaporizes an entire lake on contact. Escanor's presence close to noon is so hot that he melts the ground around him, not to talk of his actual attacks, which are way hotter than that. Escanor also has crazy prominence, where he kind of just explodes with fireballs. It's like a nuke the area technique. They'll just destroy the battlefield and make it way too hot for All Might. And then, like, if he's feeling a little bit too pressured by All Might for any reason at all, even though he wouldn't be, with Rita, he has Charge and Fire, where he literally just stores up all his energy in Rita and just drops it down on the battlefield. This attack was so powerful that a pseudo Sun Escanor, an Escanor that didn't even really have the sun, he just had the sun in his head. He had a sun illusion of Merlin, and literally amped him to the point where he nearly killed both Droll and Gloxinia, characters who could fight on par, at least for a while, with a true demon form Chandler. He's pretty strong. And just like All Might, he has air manipulation by punching and by swinging Rita and by all his basic movements, because he's way stronger than All Might, and he's way stronger than characters who also have air slicing techniques, like beginning of series Meliodas, Gallon, and more. So seriously, all this fight depends on is Escanor's mood. If he opens up like he normally does against people, and he just reels back with Rita and swings, All Might's dead. Seriously, he does this all the time. He did it against Gallon. He did it against Meliodas. He did it against Meliodas' pod. If he had Rita, there's no doubt in my mind he would have tried to do it with the Demon King. But seriously, All Might's dead from one hit from Rita. He's too slow to dodge. His durability is too low to take Rita slicing him in half. He has no regen to come back with. All Might is dead. But you know what? You can't give Escanor a weapon if All Might doesn't get a weapon. I'm just like, okay, you know what? You right. Let's restrict Rita. So it removes Charge and Fire. Since both are weaponless, that's fair, that's balanced, let's go with that. It still doesn't matter because Escanor punches straight through All Might's guard and breaks his arm. He just punch straight through All Might, since large island level at the start of a battle, which is only going to get greater and greater and greater from there, versus large mountain level, which is going to get weaker and weaker and weaker from there, it's a pretty sizable gap if you ask me. And the biggest issue here, like I just mentioned, unless you start with an Escanor that's post noon and like after the one is going on the down low, Escanor would literally just keep growing stronger by the literal second. He would just keep going and going and going. All Might would keep getting weaker and weaker. And I'm sorry, there's no reasonable universe where All Might can match a current late morning Escanor. That Escanor directly scales to a Purgatory Bond, a full Wings King, and possibly even a base true magic Meliodas, as he was able to fight alongside them and go head to head with the full power Demon King bare-handed. Not to talk of the one who was casually able to one-shot both a full power Eldritch with a poke and one-shot an off-guard assault with Meliodas from a distance with sheer air pressure alone. This one was also able to 1v1 the full power Demon King, a feat that only Meliodas was able to perform. As Escanor is at a minimum continental, and All Might is nowhere near that power or speed to handle that. Sorry, All Might fans, but even if he pulls the whole punch that changes fate, it would not spike up far enough to actually kill Escanor. The punch that changes fate is unquantifiable in how much of an amp that it gave All Might in terms of his fight with All for One. So, it could be island level, it could be universal. There's no way you can quantify that. Especially, and honestly, like I'm just saying, Escanor would probably just kill All Might. Like, no joke, he probably would get bored, because Escanor does get bored easy. And he would go for the kill the moment All Might just stopped being interesting. And All Might would stop being interesting pretty darn quick. Because he would try everything, he'd pull out every last stop, but every last stop for All Might is punching and chopping and kicking. And maybe like an air pressure punch. All of which would do nothing. So yeah, Escanor could have a variety of responses to All Might punching him. He could just take it, he could hold out his hand to block it like he's done before with other people trying to punch him, or he could just avoid one and bury his fist through All Might's chest. Oh, and for those who wanted to debate, like I've seen this, that All Might is a better hand-to-hand combatant than Escanor. No. While All Might is one of the best hand-to-hand combatants in his verse, Escanor scales directly to Meliodas, Zeldris, Bon, a whole bunch of high-tier hand-to-hand combatants with, and Meliodas has over 3,000 years of experience in hand-to-hand combatant. If anything, the two are equal. All Might is not a superior to Escanor. And even so, what does it matter if All Might's a superior hand-to-hand combatant with Escanor? If Escanor is just so much more ludicrously powerful than them? What does it matter if Escanor cannot even be touched by All Might because his temperature is too high? That's a literal thing. Like, All Might would not be able to get in range of Escanor. That's the thing. He would literally just burn All Might to a crisp. I literally can't stretch out this video much longer. I can't. I'm not going to stretch it out at all. This is literally just a wash, all completely in Escanor's favor. Like, the only Escanor I could theoretically see All Might beating is, like, maybe a a Knight Escanor, yeah, most likely, and a possibly Vampires of Edinburgh, just because we don't know where we don't know have a good concrete area for that Escanor to scale from. Um, if you want to use like Ludowank Prime All Might, who's like country level and like 2.4% the speed of light, so I've been hearing. Well, current late morning Escanor is able to damage and fight on par with a bare minimum continental Demon King. So continental versus country level, that's a pretty big gap right there. And if you want to talk about speed difference, Demon King is most likely over 4 times stronger than Ludishell, and even in the regular meta, Ludishell is normally light speed, and Escanor blows that out of the water. That crazy All Might you want to use, that country level 2.4 times light speed All Might you want to use, sure, go ahead. Like, he'll beat a early morning Escanor, maybe like a mid morning Escanor, but everything after that, the one late morning Escanor, the ultimate one, it's still a wash. So yeah, that's really it for this video. So let me explain. So Ten Commandments versus the Akatsuki was requested, and that video is in the works. The script is done. I need to re-record it because a friend of mine brought up a good point that I needed to edit. He brought up a good argument that I need to edit and put into that script. So that's going to get re-recorded. It's going to get posted next week. Sorry for the delay. That video was long. It was hard to research, and I literally had to sit down and have like philosophical discussions on whether a majority of the Akatsuki members hate something, because like that's a big notion of the fight, and also like how many of the Akatsuki members would accidentally turn their backs, or how many of the Akatsuki members would just kill bugs. Yeah, honestly, that video is way more complex just because of the commandment aspects of the Ten Commandments. So you gotta get that next week. It's going to be a long video, I can tell. Like when I first recorded it, it was over 40 minutes. So you're probably gonna get another Seven Deadly Sins versus Akatsuki chunk of a video. That's gonna be a big boy. But yeah, it was requested. So as you know, I do requests. If you have versus battles you want me to do, throw them at me in the comments. I'll do them. If you want to debate me on All Might versus Escanor, go ahead. It's like this isn't one to stand. This is like the Meruem versus the Seven Deadly Sins. Like, I can see you possibly wanting to stand like Akatsuki versus the Seven Deadly Sins. I can see you possibly wanting to stand Nagato versus Eldris. This one and Meruem versus Seven Deadly Sins. I don't think you can win this argument. But anyway, I'm glad you guys could sit through this video and watch. I am that guy with a pencil. I'm encouraging you, please like, comment especially, and subscribe and hit that little notification bell. That will alert you to when all my videos are coming up. And there's gonna be more versus battle content on this channel. It takes time to give you guys proper content that is informative yet interesting to listen to, and is also correct, because that's the big thing. Like, metas for different series are always evolving, and you always got to take that in. You always got to be able to review calcs and stuff like that. So yeah, once again, this is that guy with a pencil, writing off.